All right, ladies and gentlemen, and those guys that identify as a car. This is the FRL podcast we're getting ready to go here. We have, as usual, we've got Chris, who's a co-host. We have, tonight, we have James. James is here, as per usual, usually each month, to do a FRL state of play. And for the first time, we have Chris Stevenson, who is also known as Steve-O. And why don't you give us a quick rundown of yourself, Steve-O, since you're new?
I'm Chris. I've been doing sim racing for 2 years, roughly. Only recently been getting to a decent enough pace to warrant calling myself nearly an esports driver. Joined FRL after the 12 Hours of Monza race, and then just kind of not left and started helping out.
Yeah, you're now one of the PC admin, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
With some possible future, with some plans for the future.
Indeed.
Yes. Also,
Still working on those.
Yeah. And as I said, we also got James back tonight, who's going to give us a rundown on the state of FRL.
The state is in fire.
Well, it's a concept of stolen from the American government and PlayStation.
Yeah, was it the State of the Nation?
State of the Union in America.
State of the
Union.
Yeah.
And then on PlayStation, it's State of PlayStation.
Wow. Wouldn't it? Oh, no, I'm not going to go into political stuff, so no, I'll refrain. But hello.
We'll have to bar you from coming back if you keep the political stuff up.
Oh, please, do promise.
So we'll need to make like some kind of formal apology for last week's lack of cast.
Yes, it was not my fault this time. I was the only one that was able to go. And actually, our special guest was ready to go, but we had to postpone him. So he will be in middle of May, end of May.
Yes. So we never had any gamer dads, we never had any coops because of both having prior kind of plans, and then myself, I came down really ill.
Your lady parts were sore, weren't they?
So it was just yourself, Dale, and it wouldn't have been very fair. Holding the fort.
So what I heard, Chris, was you were posing for like special adverts, and if you look at it from a side view, you're kind of going.
Oh dear.
No, wasn't that at all, honest. And I'm enjoying a nice apple just tonight, guys. Just
yes.
So you know.
Yes.
I'm enjoying my black coffee.
Chris is enjoying his.
Are you able to turn your volume up, James?
Sorry?
Are you able to turn your volume up any? The guys say it's difficult to hear you. Alright, I can fix that from my end.
Mute him.
No, we'll be blowing everybody's eardrums, but it's fine. Let's just do it. Carry on.
I've got nothing important to say, so it's absolutely fine. Nobody needs to hear me.
Well,
so why do we have you here?
It's probably very pertinent what you're going to say tonight. There's been so many changes that have happened in the last 2 weeks, to say the least.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to kind of form the main points of discussion for tonight, I would say.
Yeah, so I guess possibly a place to start would be, do you want to discuss the new rules page?
No.
No? Not the slightest?
No. So I first of all, it's probably a couple of changes which have happened, especially on the PlayStation 4 side, which we probably need to talk about. So, as everyone who's attended from the PlayStation side of things would notice that on Taco Tuesday we had 2 tiers. On GT3 Sunday, or Pure Sim Gear Sunday, we had 2 tiers. The reason why we started with 2 tiers with between 13 and 16 drivers in each tiers is we were potentially expecting drivers to come into the server to fill the slots. Yeah. And that hasn't necessarily happened. Although we are still growing massively on all 3 fronts, on PS4, PS5 and PC, we didn't have the uptake of drivers who wanted to go into a permanent committed seat, which you can understand. So over the last week or so, we've started to review the situation, and I think the main consensus out of everyone, people want to race on full grids. Whereas on PlayStation 4, you want to race on drivers with 20 grids. On PS5, you want to race on 30 grids. On PC, you want to race on drivers with 496 cars fly.
Oh, I'd love to take part in a race like that.
I think I once hosted a big grid at Spa race, and Spa is one of the few tracks that allows lots of cars, and I think we had an 85 car grid at Spa.
I think, yeah, is it not 80 or so?
Turn 1 was not fun.
No, I can imagine not. But so we've obviously made moves, and some people are very, very happy because they've got a permanent seat. Some people obviously not so. But what we've had to do and it was without prejudice, use the attendees or the people who have attended the most. So first of all, we looked at who attended and who's attended the most amount of races. So drivers who attended every single race got a seat automatically. Drivers who missed one race generally got a seat. Drivers who missed 2 races throughout the season lost their seats. And then if people were tied in terms of 2 races missed each, then the stand-ins were used to make the final decision.
Should I helped out because I quit?
No, you quit on. Did you quit on Sunday?
No, I quit on the Tackle Tuesday.
What,
because,
on PS5?
Yeah, because there was too much going on.
Absolutely makes no difference to what I'm talking about right now.
I thought you were talking about PS5. Okay,
I'm really glad you're listening, Derek.
Well, I've got some background things I've been playing with that might have missed a bit. Hello, McFly.
Is that the photos from Chris's adverts which he's been doing?
Yeah, I was getting them published.
Listen, Chris, just so you know, it tends to be a complete and utter general debauchery.
Well, just wait until Del
that's fine. I'm listening in, and I'll pick a moment to join in.
So it could be worse. Del could be reading through the standings of every single driver on every single race.
Like, I bring something very special to this podcast.
Like his racing and slows everything down. That's
when everyone just gets up and goes to the toilet.
Does the gardening, mows the lawn.
I'm in control of you guys' volume, remember? Just mute the lot of you.
That'll be a great fun for all the viewers. So yes, we've done that on Taco Tuesday and on GT3 Friday, and I think the consensus from the 2 weeks we've done with Taco, it's gone down really, really well. We did 1 week on Sundays, and I think that again did really well, and drivers racing on grids of 20 cars, which is what I've always liked to think of FRL as, a place where you race on grids which are full, on PlayStation especially. PS5 has had no problems in terms of filling 30 cars on a Tuesday. The Thursdays is taking up, and I think that's a really good proving ground for drivers who join the league.
Yep.
To get into it in an arrive and drive basis. So I don't want to touch anything in terms of the PS5 structure. In terms of the Endurance Friday for PS4 especially, that's being looked into and discussed, but we've got time on our hands in terms of that happens once a month, so we've got essentially 3 more weeks to worry about that, but an announcement will be made in the next couple of days, Christopher, of what we're doing with that.
Yep.
And your roles will be made, will be adjusted accordingly. Obviously, drivers who started the race and finished the race will have preference in terms of seats. Drivers who didn't bother even checking in will lose their seats. And then there's a conversation to be had of drivers who turned up and then quit halfway through. And that was especially disappointing because someone sacrificed their seat to make sure that we could go down to 1 grid. But that's just me being a stroppy git.
Not like it.
No, it's not. So that's in terms of the state of the nation of the PlayStation side of things. On PC, we've got our Wicked Wednesday, which is Dell's place to twist nipples.
Your brainchild.
Yeah. Twist nipples and put the clamps on. where we're currently in round 3 of the Ferrari World Tour, and tonight was the first race which we had comms for that on, and I think that went really, really well. I sat there in a darkened room doing live stewarding. We're on round 4, correct me if I'm wrong, of the GT Pure Sim Grid.
Yes.
Here.
Yep,
Yes.
round 4.
Yeah, GT3 Friday season, and I think only GX's comms have gone down really, really well on that series so far, and that's probably our main event on PC, where we're having 40 driver, 50 driver grids consistently.
Yeah.
And you can all catch that on the Formula Racing League TV Twitch channel.
Yes.
I should be like Coops and just get a sign up, which I kind of put up.
Yeah.
And if I was
Info
really
by James.
So, yeah, and this week we've got round 3 of the Endurance League at Spa, where I believe someone in this cast is actually doing comms for that event as well. You can wake up now, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Hello.
Yeah,
Are you keeping a wee eye on
reading.
the live chat there on the
I am,
in case
yes.
Anyone saying anything funny or interesting?
I am, yes. A lot of
Has,
people saying.
has Woody asked his crazy question yet?
No,
Not
I'm keeping an eye out for any questions from Woody.
Yeah, he's barred. He's not allowed to ask questions anymore. His questions are
I
ridiculous.
would like to say there was a poll put up to see if how many guys liked the new rules, and out of 9 votes, 88% said they were good, and 1% said no, or 11% said no. I'm not quite sure what the no means, but
So
Yeah, it was probably Woody.
yeah. In terms of the rule changes, obviously they're right at the top of the server for step 1 for everyone to be able to read. They're an evolving beast at the moment. I think Gio has done an absolute spiffing job, as one of my primary school teachers used to say to me. I'm not sure if he got arrested in later life, but hey. But he's done an absolutely amazing job in pulling those together,
Yes.
and also running the stewarding side on the PlayStation side of things as well. There's obviously a period of adjustment where people are getting used to it, used to the rules. They were created back when FRL ACC was first a thing, and I think they were well overdue an amendment and some additional clarity put to them. Sadly, my brain works in mysterious ways, and I'm not the best at articulating written down rules. So I think Gio was perfectly placed to be able to do that, and also manage.
Harvard.
Sorry?
Harvard. I think it was brought up in Harvard. That guy, his etiquette, his grammar, and everything's absolutely right on point.
He can spell "and," which is probably a better start than most of us.
hand. I mean, it's only a 4-letter word.
I said "and."
Oh, and
That's
better than me already then.
Dio, that's not to dismember yourself. You're actually doing a grand job, son. Doing a grand job.
Yeah, so they were well overdue. So I encourage every single driver, PC, PlayStation, or if you're just a watching spectator, as probably about 700 people in the server are, then. Sorry, I think I'm in a funny mood this evening.
Yeah.
Well, we do have over 1,000 members, so that's well worthy of saying.
So is that Irish coffee instead of normal coffee?
It's just full of ecstasy.
I'll get the rave music on.
So yeah, so I encourage everyone to read through it. If anyone does have any issues or wants, like I said, it's an evolving beast, where we are reviewing every single instant that goes in, which we can apply against the rules, and assessing does it give the clarity that's required to help everyone race as cleanly as possible. And we are quoting the rules in terms of the stewarding decisions as well, which is hopefully helping people. And we can arrange a separate session, possibly one of the future casts, where Gio comes on and talks through them. I think that'll be a really good thing to do.
Someone said in the chat that Gio took the time to go through them.
Yeah, it was Fresh Brizzle. He spent time with Fresh going through the rules and things, which is nice to do. I believe Fresh has the same problems I do with dyslexia. So at this community we try and help everyone out, and if there's someone has an issue in an area, we're always welcome, always happy to help.
Yes.
100%. I think we were having a conversation yesterday, Derek, with an individual, which we'll leave this for a surprise for a later session. But one of the things that person suggested is the reason why they liked us and they've stuck around is because we're inclusive, we're friendly.
Yeah.
Yes, I will have a strop occasionally, as the admin team know, but
Never noticed.
I haven't witnessed that yet. I don't think.
You haven't yet, no.
No.
You don't want
Yeah.
I had one in the FRL racing chat the other day.
The race team chat.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it was resolved quickly.
I think most people ignored it because it got taken away quite quickly.
So yeah, so encourage everyone to read the rules. If anyone wants any help, then please give any member of the admin team a shout. But I think it would be good for Geo once we have a close. We're working on version 1.2 at the moment of the rules. Once we start to get a version 2 and the final version of version 2, then I think it'll be really worthwhile for Geo to do a session just to kind of go through and ask any queries or questions. But yeah.
It wouldn't be a bad idea, possibly
There's
to.
that many rules. It'll be a 3-hour podcast.
Might not be a bad idea if he's going to do that. Could maybe make it a live stream. That way, it's always there for someone to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, if you do have problems with reading that much information, you can get a video that tells you all about it.
Well, we're thinking about creating a video which demonstrates the key rules of racing.
I get to join and kill people. Yay!
Well, you can play Wreckfest for that. Otherwise known as Turn 1 at Nürburgring.
Yes.
So, in other news as well, we've got the Super Race. So, a couple of months ago, when we were going through the switch from PS4 and PS5 to separating it, we did the Race of Champions, which I think went down really, really well. So, one of the questions that we're asked for is there a possibility to have a qualification race where people can submit times to be able to partake in a race, or a bi-monthly or a 6-monthly or annual race? So the Super Race was created. It was obviously called the Rock or Race of Champions first of all, but I think some people mentioned that really shouldn't be the case because it's not champions, it's just the quickest of the quick. So we've set up a location in the Discord server to submit times round Brands Hatch in any conditions you want, in any GT3 car you want, for PS4 and PS5. And for PC, we have a dedicated hot lap server where people can log into it, set their laps around Brands Hatch in any GT3 car. The track settings are constant, the time is constant, so nobody is of any advantage or disadvantage. We've got 11 times in there at the moment for PC.
I don't think any of mine counted.
Yeah, no, all invalid.
Changing cars as well.
Yeah, every 5 seconds. Oh, I don't like the Audi.
No.
Oh no, can't have the Porsche.
Oh,
No.
the Honda's a bit temperamental. Yes.
I'm experimenting. What can I say?
Experimenting. Is that what you called your younger years? So yes. So I please everyone, if this is going to sound harsh, use it or lose it. So we've got 4 or 5 entries in for PlayStation 4, 4 or 5 entries in for PS5, and we're up to 11 now on PC. It promises to be a great event. There will be a trophy for the winner, and as last time, there will be a cash prize for the overall winner or top 3. I have 7 trophies sat up in my attic at the moment, which I want to spread the love for.
I'll engrave some wee plates and get them sent to you so that they can go on the trophies.
Mate, they're not that expensive. There's no need for that.
Crystal's fancy wee brass plate will be probably as heavy as trophies.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to send a trophy across to Europe?
It costs more than the trophy costs.
It probably costs about 18, 19 quid.
So one of
Things for the trophy.
every single season which I had, because we used to do trophies in the F1 server, which I ran once upon a time, and every single winner of whatever season there was got a trophy. And every single season I sat there going, please be a British winner, please be a British winner, please be a British winner. And then someone, lo and behold, won it, and they were from Holland or Netherlands. And I sat there and went, okay, no worries. So I trotted off down the road to the post office, and the trophy was about £9 off Amazon. So I'm setting your expectations here. £9 off Amazon. Do you know how much it cost me to post it?
29.
Probably 30, 40 quid.
Well, 18 quid to post it. So 27 quid. So this person, so this guy was an absolute gentleman. He said, "Do you want me to pay for the postage?" I was like, "Nah, that's good."
Pay for the privilege of having a winning medal,
Yeah.
winning trophy. Fantastic.
So we're in the running for the PC one just now, James.
Yep, second last and last, as I say.
Yep.
I did my time on 80% throttle.
You've not got back
Oh,
in
Is that the excuse you're going with? Is it?
It is indeed.
Yeah, I have seen you doing 24s, James, so
Yeah, give me the Ferrari round Brands hatch on PlayStation 4. Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, but we're on PC at this point, so
Yeah, I have made the.
the Ferrari's not nearly as overpowered as it is on PlayStation as well on PC.
Well, it's the only place where the Ferrari can actually hit a curb and survive.
yeah.
The thing that gets me in real life, the Ferrari is one of the best GT3 cars over curbs.
Opposed to the Bentley, which
Opposed to the M4.
non-existent.
Well, you're not very enthralled with the M4 just now.
No.
You've had your time with it and you've dumped it for something else. You just don't
Screw
know.
that car.
You just don't know what something it is.
You'd be better driving a Honda.
Who is Mr. Florida?
Who?
Who?
Casanova's put Mr. Florida. So I'm just reading through the chat.
I don't see where he said Mr. Florida.
It's about halfway up. So
I unfortunately can't see the live chat because I'm on my phone. If I come off anything, I disappear.
why didn't you scroll through a couple of pages on your phone to see your web history?
Oh, is it Sean?
No, Cascanova, I don't know who he's talking about.
Oh, Woody's asked his question, by the way.
Yeah, he's asked a question, Chris. So you want ready
Yeah,
for
that's
it?
the question.
Okay, ask away.
Are you want to ask it, Chris or Steve?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Question to Mr. Grasscutter himself. I'm heading up to the area where you're staying this week with work. I'm just wondering how much does the Matchbox hotel you cost for the week?
How much does the what?
The
Matchbox
Matchbox
hotel
hotel you're staying in.
cost for a week.
Well, I've managed to get it for £250. Whereabouts? He needs to tell us where he's going. I can meet up with him for a pint if he fancies it.
There's a limit of about 10 minutes between us talking and him getting that message. So we'll sit here for 10 minutes in silence just to wait for a reply.
No,
I'll keep an eye out for his reply, see what it says.
the hotels up here are cheap as chips. I mean, I'm 50 quid a night in my hotel room just now.
How much a night?
50 quid, bed and breakfast.
See, when I travel to London, I'm allowed £175 a night for a hotel. That's a good rate.
That's probably like a bed
In
sit
London,
with
in
a
London
kettle.
you'll get fuck all.
I refuse to travel anywhere. Can I just?
Toaster.
So I was thinking about something the other day, and it's always dangerous when I think.
Oh, God.
And I think what I would like to do is, in the absence of Gamer Dad's Alien of the Week, I just want to put an unsung hero award out.
Well, I was going to do an Alien of the Week, but that's fine. Go with the unsung hero. Go for it.
You can still do your Alien of the Week, but
Yeah.
I was sat there on Friday night, and I was trying to qualify. I was also trying to set up the PS5 stream for the GT3 Friday, and then lo and behold, someone turns up and does comms for PS4 on the endurance night. Without
Legends.
anyone asking him, or without any prompt. I think he actually left his uncle's funeral and ended up doing comms. But not that I encourage that in any way, shape, or form. But no matter what the situation, no matter what the ask is, Darren Mark is my unsung hero award of FRL. I think he does a lot of stuff which not many people notice, and without
He
any
keeps himself so quiet in the background, but he's always 100% there.
Yeah. And a fellow Welshman.
Wait, but at least we can understand him. We can't understand your Welsh.
Sorry, what did you say, Del?
I said at least we can understand him being from Wales, though.
I understand Celtic, Del.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that, Del. I just heard mumbling.
I think we need to start calling you and Darren leaks at us. Good. Well, I'll do a wee a bit later on Alien of the Week in the absence of Gamer Dad, and I'm sure a lot of you'll agree with the person that I'm going to suggest.
Is that a PC person or a PlayStation person?
PlayStation person. I've not had a chance to race much on PC over the last 3 or 4 weeks, only because I've been so busy with work and a few other things as well.
And it's quite hard to figure out when they're lapping us, isn't it?
It is.
I'm not going to say anything. Nothing said here.
Who was that blur that went
How
by?
many races, Chris? Wait there. I got a question. How many races have you finished?
3?
What, in FRL?
Yeah.
Okay, when we say finish, it's not
that-
I did
is
not
that a
finish.
That's
Oh no,
probably
2.
how many of
2.
you-
I finished Bath. I
Not
didn't.
even that.
Did I not finish?
No,
One.
you didn't finish Bathurst either.
1.
The rule of 3.
You've got 16 points out of 3 races.
That's because I've only done 1 race.
Out of 3 races.
Oh, I did do 3 races. Okay.
No, you didn't finish them though.
Listen, it's taking the part that counts.
So, I went there. No. So, you've got that. Chris, let's have a look at yours on PC. Just for
Christopher.
giggle. So, Christopher, sorry. So, Chris has done 20 races. Christopher has done 20 races and has 366 points. So, at the moment, Christopher is faster than Chris because he finishes more races.
I'll have to fix that.
Where am I at, James?
I had an
Where am I
ACC.
at? In my
Steve,
last
don't
season.
listen to them. They're just trying to create a rivalry here. It's not
Well-
going to happen.
To be fair-
I'm trying my hardest this season because this will be my last GT3 Friday. I will need to start stewarding again next season.
Yeah, I gotta beat you this season in GT3 Friday.
No, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let that happen.
Where are you?
So-
You've only done 9 races apparently in PC, though.
Yes, I've not done a lot. I'm only just slowly getting there now.
What are you saying, Stephen?
So, to be fair, in my defence, I had an existential crisis and took a break from ACC. And I've only just kind of come back because people keep going. I get a million DMs a day saying, Chris, I need a setup. Please help me with a setup. And I'm like, oh, alright.
So this is probably the best time to introduce this, Steve, that you are probably going forward going to be our new setup king.
Set up guru.
Setup guru / coaching. I want to try and
The,
start doing some coaching.
discotheque queen, whatever you want to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and start doing some coaching if people are up for it. I haven't picked a night of the week or a certain time because I never know when I'm available to do it at the moment.
What would
but
it be? Would you be doing some kind of like a live podcast type thing? Just you talking people through setups and cornering and etc.
I mean,
all that kind of thing.
It could end up like that, but initially it would be kind of just in the Discord, in one of the voice channels. Whoever wants a hand or needs anything or wants just some quick tips can hop in and ask. I'm not.
What I think will be really good, and we did discuss this
Yes.
firsthand, is what is your role of honour to be able to say that you can do coaching? And I already know the answer is very, very good, but I just think with the rest of the group, in terms of the people listening, give us a bit of a background in terms of your history. To justify why you would be a great person for setups, and what do you do as part of your habit?
So in regards to setups, I make setups I send people. I have many different versions of every setup I do. But I make, rather than like when you pay for setups from like Coach Dave or other places that you can buy the setups from, they make them as fast as humanly possible. But you have to be of a skill level to get that pace out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I make setups as easy to drive as possible, so you can feel comfortable to push the car initially.
Right.
I try to make it so every kind of driving style you could possibly think of, they'll work for. As much as, unless you're being a complete numpty driving, then they should work for you. And I try and like tonight, I had to disappear earlier on from the Discord because I was doing a setup for a guy and he was struggling with something, and it was really quick. I just had to explain to him how he had to do the corner, and that is what I do. You know, it's
your thing.
It's my
you've
thing.
been doing that.
Yeah.
So we can take as much mentoring from you as possible then. So anyone at all that's looking to hook up,
I think it's definitely something that people should look into, because it's always nice to get some information from an alien.
Well, it's like I always used to struggle. I used to put hundreds and hundreds of hours into practicing for someone to come in and tell me, why are you doing it like that? That's not the right line, or you're not doing it right on the brakes. And I'm like, I've been practicing this way for that long that I'm now going to have to break my habit to learn it the right way. And I know what it feels like, and I know how frustrating it can be, and I want to stop people from running into that brick wall and just going, you know what, screw this, I'm not doing it anymore.
The worst thing to see when people are racing is that bloody ideal line that's on, but that ideal line is actually not ideal, James. No, it's actually not ideal at all.
No.
It's just a safe way of getting round the track, but it's not going to give you the speeds or the pace. So if you're still using that line, it's and you're 2 years in like you are yourself, James, it's solely just so that it's bloody there on the screen. It's probably not helping you in the slightest.
It's my safety blanket.
That's it. Take your safety blanket and throw it in the corner where you let your young daughter play with it.
Chris, how safe is it to be giving the CEO of our league a hard time about how he drives?
I'm just saying.
Looks like Christopher just got booted from Discord.
Big time.
Banned.
No, so the ideal line for me, I started the game personally without the ideal line, and I was on controller, and then as soon as I turned to steering wheel, I still stayed away from the ideal line because I wanted to learn the tracks as best as I possibly could. And I'll put my hand up, I've used the ideal line once on Wilton Park because I found that track physically impossible.
It's not, it's brilliant now that you've not.
But I used the ideal line for a practice.
Oh, the ideal line on Wilton Park.
And get rid of it.
Yeah. You take the ideal line on Wilton Park and do exactly the opposite of what it tells you to do.
That's it.
Because it's terrible. It's awful.
Just make your suspension really soft so that it takes all the bumps and flippy flops and
not necessarily, but
in James's defence, I used the ideal line for a long time, and the problem is the longer you use it, the harder it is to get rid of.
I know.
You use it so much, like, I don't need it, but I want to know.
I think Checker still uses it as well.
Checkers start to come off.
Manual, automatic gears for ages, which shocked me.
I got rid of the driving line before I got rid of the automatic gears. But I done it kind of at the same time. Not much difference, but yeah, my driving went to complete hell at that point, and it wasn't that I didn't know where to brake and where to start turning in and things. It was just I was looking for the line when I didn't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I obviously those guys who race on PC know about LFM and their structure, and you can't race. So they've upset me because in their practice servers they've turned the racing line on. So when I started doing Open Park practice, I was like, ooh, racing line.
Checker did the exact same thing.
Yeah, I practiced and practiced and practiced, and then I turned up to the race serve, and I was like, "Oh, bugger! No racing line." So it took me the 15 minutes of qualifying to try and figure out where my braking points were.
Yeah.
And it was not because I didn't know where to brake. It was just I was missing my safety blanket. So when I was all geared up to do the stream this evening for the Ferrari World Tour before Porsche stepped in and gladly took his hands on it. So I will do my best to keep it off because I can race without it, and it takes me, and I'm probably quicker without it. But yeah.
Another thing I find that makes easier as well is not that I get to do it often, but when you come up to pass someone, you have to learn new stopping points if you can't see your braking area on this. You end up with like 5 or 6 different braking areas, whereas the ideal line just you use it.
Well, what I end up saying to people when I do start mentoring is I can teach the lines, I can teach how to get on the track quick. Best next step is to go into a single player race with AI drivers and learn how to overtake people, because you can hot lap all day and get rapid. You can be massively quick and then go to a race and be dead last because you don't know how to overtake people or how to defend. It's a massive part of it. Racecraft is a huge part of racing.
It's one of the problems we have with because we're open to all levels on the PC as well. We see it quite a lot where people come in and they're really quick, but they've got no idea what to do in a pack.
Well, the stewarding office has been extremely busy in the last fortnight because that nail right in the head there, Chris. People are rapid at quali and free practice when there's no gaggles of cars or people pressing them. Put them into the race, and by turn 4, they're involved in 2 or 3 incidents. One of them's probably a ticket. They end up getting sanctioned because the racecraft is absolutely off point, only because they're not used to it. So the best thing to do is just get involved with as many races as possible. Kind of start using if you're going to offer this service to people. It's probably
it's not just limited to PC people either.
Yeah.
I can't yet drive on PlayStation. I have one, or I should say my missus has one, and I have a spare Logitech wheel that I can plug into it. I can't yet do that, but if there's enough people across PS4 and PS5, I don't mind investing my own money and getting a PS5 and doing it for people. You know, it's not a problem. I don't mind doing it. I know there's some differences between PC and PlayStation. I'm not sure.
Oh God,
yeah,
how big they are.
Well, it depends if you're on PlayStation. There's a difference between PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 as well.
I think PlayStation 5 is quite close to PC. I think PlayStation 4
it's getting there.
is.
We're still missing the 1.8 update on PlayStation 5.
Which is coming apparently.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming very shortly. But PlayStation 4 is not going to change anymore, period, they said. But PlayStation 5 is getting closer and closer. The force feedback and everything's a bit closer.
So, as we've been talking tonight about the... Sorry, James, what were you going to say there?
He's muted his computer again.
Oh, yeah,
No, someone's just appeared in the chat, which I think deserves special mention.
Oh.
Has Gamer Dad appeared?
Yes.
Woohoo!
Yes. Yeah, I hope you're well, man.
Yes, we're
Get well soon.
Gamer. Please come back.
Yeah, the other thing which we probably need to talk about as well, is, which I forgot to mention, is on PS5 on Thursdays we're trialing time penalties, and one of the reasons why we didn't do it was because the results screenshot from ACC was shocking, and you had gaps in terms of P1 and 2 might have a gap between them, but then P3 to P9 might not have any time gaps between them. Whereas that has drastically improved on the result screens on ACC. So we're trialing time penalties because potentially tickets are not seen as license points are not seen as enough of a penalty. So we're trialing time penalties, which
a deterrent, I would say, because repeat offence shows that people are just happily taking their license points and just doing it again.
Yeah. So we're bringing it. We're assessing time penalties, which we do on PC, We don't have the license point system on PC. We just do the time penalties. Yeah, we're trialing the time penalties on PlayStation to see how that works. If that works well in the GT3 Thursday series, then we'll look to try and implement that across all leagues. One other thing I forgot to mention as well is Mixed Monday sign up is out. It's in the series sign up section where we're trying to run a PS4 and a PS5 Mixed Mondays. If anyone has ever partaken in Mixed Mondays, it is quite good fun. So what I'm proposing to do is on PS4 is do a 10 and 10 split between GT3s and GT4s on the same track. On PC, I'm up for discussion in terms of 20 GT3s and 10 GT4s, or 15 and 15. Depends on the sign-up numbers that come in.
Yes, 5. Okay.
I think the benefit to the PlayStation side is people actually like GT4. It's not like PC.
I love GT4 and PC.
I know,
I
but
love
do
GT4.
you know how hard that is to set up an actual race of GT4 cars? Nobody comes in. It's
I
weird.
think we're the only 4 people that can enjoy a GT4 car. I think the rest of the entire FRL world hate it on PC.
I don't know what it is. Keddy likes a GT4 race. But yeah, it's very strange affairs.
Faster.
Yeah.
We're
Sorry.
touching on the new rules that have come in, etc. And recently, we've been kind of getting a lot of, because of the mergers and the condensation of the leagues races down to just like one grid, and we're still getting people leaving the race before the race actually finished. We've seen a massive influx, and I've counted so far in the last 4 or 5 races anywhere from 20 plus rage quits or leaving the server, and it wasn't actually due to this disconnection whatsoever. And it's just, we're going to be on it, we're going to be rife on this now. So if you're going to leave the server at all, you're going to get sanctioned for it, and it's a minimum of 4 points. So
how many points is it your seat goes up for review?
Your seat's up for review after 12.
So it's a quali ban after 7. Seats up for review. So race ban then at 10 or 12, and once you've had your race ban, your seat's under review.
So basically, if you rage quit 3 times in a row, you're in trouble.
We need to start looking at your continuity and your willingness to actually be involved in what FRL's all about, and that's racing, full grids, having fun, being as clean and as competitive as possible, and stay in the server, because we've got a pool of reserve guys that are itching to get going. They're just itching to get involved, and it's heart rate. I'm getting DMs from them all the time. I could have raced in that. I'm gutted. I'm gutted to quit. I could have raced in that, and it started getting on my nerves. So that's why I've kind of personally put in probably about 16 or 17 of the race quits recently. So
I do think it's very interesting how they justify rage quits. I've seen it said 100 times. They go, well, I spent all this time practicing and got took out in the second lap, so I just left. And I'm like, you spent all that time and got taken out in the second lap. Just hang around. There's other people going to crash out. I don't understand spending that much time. Okay, I understand it's frustrating to get taken out, but I don't understand spending all that time just to run away. I'm done.
We can't be seen to telling people what to do. That's not what we're all about. What we will do is, if you don't follow the rules, you'll be sanctioned, and then it's on your own head whether your seat's up for review or not. That's it. So the ownership's on the driver. That's why we've set it up, the structure of the penalty point system, the way it has been, and I think we're being very lenient with it.
Yeah, but it's not all doom and gloom. Yes,
No.
we're building a system which punishes people who quit. We're educating drivers in terms of their racecraft, which I think is important. But the majority of the races, the majority of the laps go down with some awesome racing, some side-by-side, wheel-to-wheel action. And it's just a few incidents that happen. The one thing which I will say is we never discourage a ticket being raised.
No.
Because that's the only way we as a steward, we as a league, as a stewarding team learn, and it's the only way drivers will learn as well.
Yes, here.
Right.
Even if you're not sure, race a ticket. That's what I do.
Yeah, and the thing is, if it's within a grey line, where we don't quite know what to do with it, we get all the stewards involved, and that might actually bring up an area in the rules that we've not thought about before. There's always new things come up that you never equate for.
No question is a stupid question unless Derek asks it.
I can ask a stupid question. I enjoy a stupid question. There's nothing wrong with stupid questions.
So we've kind of touched on quite a lot of things about the rules and about driving etiquette, and it's getting better, and you can see it. Some of the racing I had last night in Tacos, that comms that Coop's done last night I couldn't take my eyes off it. I was shouting, screaming at my phone, and people in the lobby here in the hotel were looking over like, what the hell's this guy doing?
You were sitting in the lobby shouting at your phone.
I was screaming. It was mental. It was brilliant. It was so good to watch last night. And I think there was not one incident at all for GT for PS5 last night, was there?
I don't know.
I don't think there was any tickets raised.
I know there was tickets raised on PS, but I don't know if it was in. I
think it was on PS4.
Yeah, I don't know which ones was which.
Qu'est-ce que tu aimes? Sorry, what were we saying? I zoned out for a second. It's like
I was just talking about the races last night. They were so good to watch. Everything was very clean, fast, awesome, aggressive.
Yeah, and Evan jumping in to do comms on Taco was awesome.
Yes.
Obviously, we got comms by Coops on the PS5 server, but the PS4 side of things, Evan jumping in and massively helping us out by doing comms on the Tuesday one was amazing. So yeah, huge thank you to Evan as well.
So can I give my
Nah.
Well, alien of the week? I would say this guy tends to, he kind of goes under the radar, yet he pretty much takes part in every single kind of race that he possibly can, and he's quite notorious for showing up to the race, and he always says, I'm just going to start for the pits. I'm just going to start for the pits tonight. And he always finishes either first, second, third. I think he's had one bad race or two bad races in the last 20. So my alien of the week is going to go to Fresh Briz. He's transitioned over from, who is it he raced with again?
SRO?
No, EAR or EOR?
EOS? Or
AOR.
EOA.
EOA.
And he's showed some really good consistency, and I think he's well deserved this week. It's probably been the last 3 weeks he's been consistently winning things and consistently up there, and he managed to keep Will Friedman at bay the other night, and I just thought that's something, because Will Friedman's uncatchable at the moment. So,
yeah, I did notice he was doing pretty well recently.
Alien of the week, I'll give it to Fresh Briz. Well done, mate. Keep it up, keep going.
My hands are not built for that one. So
do you want to do a bit about the stands, or you anything else you want to say, James, before you sign off? You look ready for your bed.
He's gone muted again.
You mute him again.
It's a story of my life with work. I just mute myself, and then forget to turn it back on. Yeah, apparently, if I press Control and D, I can mute and unmute myself without touching my mouse, which is news. No, my wife's not home, so I'm free to carry on.
Excellent. Good.
So, do you want to do a couple of questions, Chris?
So the only two questions I can remember from earlier on was
You not got them wrote down?
No, I remember them from the message that came through. Young Porsche, he's asked two questions. So,
Porsche.
First of all, he's asked, is the Challengers Pack on PC a worthy purchase?
Okay, so me and Chris was talking about that, because you've not bought it yet, have you, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have bought it, but you just not tried any of the cars?
I've just not tried any of the cars yet, but I'm itching to try the Porsche.
Yeah.
Itching.
So, I've tried the Ferrari, and I have tried the M2. That's the only two I've tried. Now, Steve, you said you tried the Porsche, the Ferrari, and the Lambo, right?
Yes.
Right. So, I think.
And the Audi.
Oh yeah, you tried the Audi as well. So, between the two of us, we think it's definitely worth getting. It's also worth putting in some practice with the vehicles. I find the Ferrari fun to drive, but it's a bit unruly, especially in the corners. When you're in a car that does 140, 150 mile an hour, changes gear, and starts fishtailing all over the place, it's a nightmare. And then you get the tyres up to temperature and it's not much better. When it comes to the M2, it's like a wee go-kart. I really hope that they expand on the touring car side, because that's definitely fun to play with.
Right.
You can just throw them through corners. I would venture a guess at some of, like on Zolder, for instance, for the chicanes, I would venture to say you could throw that M2 through the corner quicker than any other car in the game.
Yeah.
Just bounce right
A
over
lot
the
of
curb.
this, people are raving about it because of
Yeah.
its stability. It's really good.
For the other cars, we'll get Steve. Why don't you say what you think about the other cars?
So the new Porsche Cup car I'm going to start with, because I can see Chris's eagerness about it.
Yeah, he's all
Um,
giddy.
She deadly.
Oh,
Oh, she deadly.
is she rapid?
She is rapid. It's a lot faster than the old Cup car.
There's
but
debates that it's actually quicker and a bit more stable than the actual Porsche GT3.
Don't
It is.
start.
Um,
Seriously?
It is. However, if you have a lead right foot, you will be in a wall very, very quickly. It doesn't appreciate that very much. It now has good ABS, which is a stepping stone in the right direction.
I was
Maybe
actually
actually
hoping
good.
we may have got one of the iterations that didn't have ABS.
So
That
it's
would-
true with this. They say it's actually, although it's titled a GT3, it's actually not
No,
a
it's,
GT3.
it's not titled as a GT3. It's a Cup car.
It's a Cup car.
It's a Porsche 2 Cup car.
Porsche Cup car, but it's a lot of people call it a GT3 car in the racing world, even though it's not one or something. Is that what it is?
No, it's a Cup car. Period.
So the only difference is really the Cup car has less aero,
Mhm.
and it doesn't have traction control.
And it actually takes a curb quite well compared to the
Other than
GT3.
that, it is a GT3 car.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to get in it. Can't
And then
wait.
they have different iterations of it in the real world as well. So you got no traction control, no ABS in one car maybe. Another one might just not have traction control. Another one might have a bit of traction control but not ABS. Or they got like 12 different iterations of this car between
Love it.
aero differences and everything.
With the new Lambo, how's that? Looks lovely.
Much better than the old ST. It's so much better than the old ST.
Right.
It's a different beast. It's so much more stable. It's got a lot more front end grip than it used to have, which is
Also, no
nice.
understeer, which that used to bloody perplex me with that field car.
The TC again is much better than it used to be. But speed wise, I wouldn't say it's much faster than the old ST. If you knew how to drive the old ST, it's on par, but it's just easier to learn. I haven't driven that one too much, so I won't go into too much depth on that one. The new Audi, however, that car. I honestly think, apart from the fact that I can't drive it at Brands Hatch, but I think that's me not being able to drive Brands Hatch.
Yeah.
It is super stable through the corners. It's got enough grunt to get out of them. It feels balanced, unlike the old one. The Evo, you used to turn in, and the car used to go, "Yeah, I'm front engine me. I'm going to understeer for no reason." This one feels like a mid-engine car, and but it has the stability of a front-engine car. It is awesome. I don't know what they've done with it, but it is awesome.
I know that one of the big upgrades that car got was it now has the TC1 and TC2.
Yes,
and they also
that has
made-
a huge difference.
It's also one of the cars that actually the TC works on.
Yes.
Because there's still
You
a
can
lot.
turn-
There's still a
You
lot
can
of
turn
cars
that
at the
TC
TC.
right up.
Yeah. There's
You
still
can
a
turn that
lot.
TC.
Sorry, carry on, Chris.
You can turn that TC right up,
Yeah.
and
It won't
it
kill
hardly
the
ever does
engine.
anything. Yeah, it hardly ever does anything unless it has to.
Yeah.
So-
Which that's what that's one of the areas that they are actually start. The BMW, the M2, is the same. Traction control works. All the new cars that they brought in here, the traction control does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Whereas there's still
But
a
that's
lot of
because
cars.
PC's dynamics are really a lot better.
Yeah, there's a lot of the cars previously that the TC is quite damaging to your progress, which
Yes.
is why you have such a small TC. And I think it's a lot of the ones that have got the single TC, not got TC 1 and 2 or TC cut. I think those ones are a bit better.
The M4, although I hate it at the moment, the M4's TC is really good, and that's only got one stage of TC.
Yeah.
But you don't. The reason that's really good is because it works when it's down low. You don't have to turn it up.
Yeah.
You can be in the wet and run 3 TC, and it still do its job.
Yeah.
Such a
that-
strange car.
That goes with
I
the
just don't
M2.
like it at the moment.
That goes with the M2 as well. You can actually, you could probably run a whole race in solid wet track, and that car would go around. It's not going to be as quick, but you can keep it on track.
Yeah.
So to answer Porsche's question, I think it's unanimously a yes.
Yeah, I
It's
think
definitely
it's
worth the money now.
It's definitely worth the
If
money.
you're not willing to pay Steam's money, then hook up with Dell. Dell will show you how to get it through CD keys. It might be a couple
No, I
of
won't.
cheaper.
No, it won't. They'll not have it in for 3 months, Chris.
No.
Oh, okay.
The,
Fine.
Steam will be the only place you can really get it for 3 months.
But for 10 quid,
Yeah, 10
you
quid.
get 5
yeah.
cars. It's so worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a couple of people saying,
So 3
and-
coffees.
I saw a couple of people in Discord saying, "Oh, if there's only going to be 5 cars, I'm not buying it." But I mean, before it came out, was it me and you, Chris? We're talking
Mhm.
about what we thought the price was going to be, and we were talking about 19 quid. We were thinking it was going to come out at, and then when they said it was £9, I thought, yeah, I'll buy that, no problem. It's so much cheaper than I thought.
I had my grumble. I thought it would have been free.
No, you're lucky you got the BMW for free. That was just them being nice.
Yes.
Because we hadn't had an update for such a long time.
Now we had a second question. Now this question is probably needs James to be here as well, but with you guys being fully involved in the PC sides, I'm involved myself, but I think you guys are more involved, more in the kind of nitty gritty and the background of stuff.
Mhm.
He's asked about the new 75 SA and three medals for tracks now going forward, and he's asked us that we discuss that and asked why we've implemented this.
Right, so basically, we had the same problem as we had on PlayStation before Christmas, where we started getting a high influx of new drivers. And
We're over 1,000 members now, so
well, remember back when we had PlayStation, there was an influx of drivers, and incidents went through the roof because
Yes.
you've got drivers that
they were
different-
coming from public lobbies
Yeah.
straight into our races
yes.
and racing like they were in a public lobby.
So
and
we
it just doesn't cut it.
Yeah, so we have the same problem going on in PC just now. And what we're worried about is losing established members.
We don't want to lose the fast guys.
Well, no, it's not even lose the fast guys. You don't want to lose the clean drivers.
Yes.
There's no point in having fast drivers and all the fast drivers are unclean. It's an unusable league. So we want to keep all the clean drivers and the current members, but we still want to introduce new members. So we implemented 75 SA and 3 track medals, which is 2 different entities that you have to be able to have.
The SA
Also-
is the most important because all you need to do is 3 clean laps in the dark or 4 clean laps in a day dry.
Four
or whatever.
clean laps, dark or rain,
5.
and you'll get your track medals.
Right.
But the SA is more difficult to get.
Yes. You need to show quite good consistency and clean driving.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing lobbies, multiplayer, like if you're doing single player, your SA doesn't come up easy. It starts, but I think you get like your first 40 or 50 quite quickly, and then it starts getting really difficult. And then
Well, the reason it gets more difficult is because it ranges over, I can't remember exactly if it's 350 miles or 375 miles.
every time you have an instance,
So
it
every
stays
time you
on
have
your
an
record
instance, it stays for
that.
350 miles.
Yes.
So if you have a big crash that involved losing a lot of points, you might be getting wee green tick over, but your points aren't going up because that's got to get all the way out first.
Yeah, it goes back
Yeah.
350 miles.
So if you're an unclean driver, it takes longer to get any points back up. What we've implemented at that point, simply because we don't want to lose people, is we're going to start a rookie league as well. Basically just those people that...
Let me bring James up to speed just in case he never heard. Porsche asked 2 questions. The one about the challenge pack. The second one is the implementation of the 75 SA and the 3 track medals. So we're just discussing that and why it's been put in place.
Yeah,
So and now delves on to the rookie league, which is...
Yeah, which they never asked about, but I thought might as well explain that. So if we've got members that are in a league and their SA drops below 75, rather than them having to go into a private lobby to try and get it back up again, where there's a good chance that she's going to keep getting lower, we're trying to put in place a little 7 series rookie league, which means it doesn't even have to be a rookie league. You just calling it that for the sake of it, just so as you can get in somewhere and rebuild your safety rating back up, and then you can get back into your
racing. You're going
racing.
to have the general consensus of the FRL culture. It's going to be clean racing.
Yeah.
But you don't need to have 75 SA. So if it's
Well,
lower, you get there.
So in the rookies, it will be probably a lot more, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
But
I have a couple of ideas.
The idea is to make FRL one of the cleaner racing leagues. Like I said to you, that it doesn't matter about whether you're fast or slow. We're more interested in clean racing than anything else. I think everybody is interested in clean racing. Some people might just get a bit, oh, I'm glad I'm the fastest. But as long as you're being clean, it's fine. It's definitely more an emphasis on clean than anything else.
Like especially in endurance racing, because it's what I've done most of. Consistency is key, and being clean is key. Like, you can be one of the slowest cars on track, but if you keep doing the same lap times and you keep getting past people cleanly, you don't end up in accidents, you can do really well.
Finish mid-table, finish top 10.
Yeah.
I just to reiterate the comment, I have no interest in being the fastest league on the planet.
No.
Absolutely not. But I do have an interest in being one of the cleanest.
Definitely getting there. I think the numbers show that people are starting to believe this is the place to be.
It's like what Steve-O said. I'm not trying to toot our own horn a wee bit, but me and James drove a couple of races in the last couple of months, endurance races. A 2-hour one and then the 12 hours at Bathurst. And we're not the fastest drivers by far, but we managed to get 28th on the 2 hours at Spa against EOS. And
there were some seriously
yeah.
good teams in that one.
And then on
50.
Yeah, and then on Bathurst there was 48 started, and we managed to get up to 28th or 30th on that one before everybody started leaving, and then we finished up 25th overall. So I mean, slow and steady can win the race for you. Not maybe win the race, but it'll get you halfway up the field at least.
Did our other FRL team not get in the top 10?
They finished in 7th. They had some issues with crashes near the end, which knocked them down.
Could have been higher.
They were in second for most of the race.
So the best example I've got is I did a charity race for cancer research for DSRT. Mm-hmm. We qualified stone dead last, like 50th out of 50th, stone dead last.
What does that do, man?
we were going to meme it because it was a Halloween special. It was a 24-hour race at Silverstone, and we're like, yeah, what the hell? We'll go for the V12. We'll race the V12 Aston, British car, British track. Let's go. Worst mistake we'd ever made. So we changed cars between qualifying and the race, which they let us do because I donated more money, and they says, "Yep, since you've donated more, you can change cars, but you'll be starting from the back." And I'm like, "That's fine, it's for charity." We started 50th, we finished second.
What?
Because we didn't have any accidents, we didn't have any crashes, we got every pit stop perfect. It wasn't about the pace,
Just consistency.
just consistency. And it's
Is
a
that
huge,
not the
it is a
race?
huge
Is that
thing.
not the picture that you now have as your profile or something? That did you not do like 6 hours of that or something?
Which one?
Did you not? Is that not the race you were telling us one night you'd done? Like...
No, that was the 24 hours of Daytona.
Ah,
Yeah.
right, okay.
That was in iRacing.
And you ended up doing like 6 hours or something, and there's a picture of you like that.
I did 6 hours straight, but I didn't sleep at all because of the times that everyone else wanted to go to bed. I was like, yeah, I'll stop up because I was going to do the 10 to midnight stint and then go to bed because the Americans were supposed to come on and do the night stints. The Americans both said halfway through my stint, "We're going to bed now." I'm like,
So
"Cheers, boys."
you shouted
So
on
I
the girlfriend to bring the 2-litre bottle in.
I drove from 11 o'clock at night to 6 a.m. on my own. As soon as the guy got in, I went, "Mate, I'm pitting now. I've got half a tank of fuel. I don't care. I'm pitting out. I really need the toilet." Went to the toilet, came back, stayed up until the end of the race, went into a Discord chat with a couple of my buddies just to chill out. And literally, if anyone has me on Discord or can see me in Discord and you click on my profile, you'll just see me passed out in this chair on my webcam like this.
Somebody...
Just dead.
So I take it somebody else took that picture for you.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, brilliant.
So that's actually a nice little segue. Let's ask you another question for getting to know you purposes.
Oh,
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your team experience since we're on the subject of teams and endurance?
I've raced with a few teams. Some have been much better than others. However, overall, it's been it's a nice feeling to race for a team. It's a nice feeling to get an achievement for a group of people rather than just for yourself. It takes a lot more work to race in a team. There's a lot more compromises on everybody's parts, things like setups and strategy.
Setup doesn't suit everybody, so you've just all got to like it or lump it. So it's a hard balance to strike.
Yeah, and like scheduling, especially when you've got teams with people from different countries, it's like, I'm in this time zone and you're in this time zone, how are we going to work this? And it's all a munge, and it's great. Like for the 24-hour race, 5 of us from last to second. I couldn't have been more proud of everybody for doing it, and it's a great feeling. I really enjoy racing for teams. More so now I'm back, and over the last 3 months, something in my brain has gone click, and I have got reasonably much faster from nowhere. I've not done anything different. Just all of a sudden,
it just happened.
I'm just 2-3 seconds a lap faster out of nowhere. No reason. I have no idea what's happened.
2 or 3 seconds a lap faster. Jeez, I hope that happens to me.
Never.
I want that to happen to me.
I think half the people still awake listening to us. Hope it happens to them as well.
Aye.
So
I'm lucky I get 2-3 tenths.
What's it looking like on the live chat? Has there been any other questions away?
I'm not seeing any other questions, just the general normal chat.
Well, that's been 2 really good questions that's come in from young Porsche, so thanks for them, Porsche, and I hope they've answered your questions.
Was there any in the emails? No.
No, well, I couldn't get logged into the emails earlier. James will tell you it was a bit of a faff, but there was no questions in the emails either.
Okay.
The more questions you send in, guys, the more we can discuss it and we can feature you on the show. So send them in. He's asking questions all day long on the Discord. Ask them and send them into the email. We'll discuss it more in depth for you. That's it.
Maybe you're answering the questions in the Discord and you don't go into else to
Do
ask.
you know what? It's hard to say, right, wait till next Wednesday and I'll answer your question.
Aye. They could
How
always
many
wait.
Americans have landed?
Do you want to do a bit about standings, or what time are we on?
Christ, it's 10 past 11.
It's
Yeah,
only
we-
10 past 11. If it's up to yourself, do you want to
I'm
do a
just
bit
going to
about
have
standings,
to
Dale?
turn my webcam off for a minute. I will still be here, just I've got to turn this off because I've got to do something.
No problem. I could bring up.
So we're probably kind of halfway through most of the kind of latest seasons now, so I think things are going to be quite tight. So I would maybe even just do the top 5.
Just run through them quickly then. Until we get to GT Friday on PC, we'll have to take a bit of time in that.
I'm
And-
sure Hutch will want to hear his name mentioned in the top or somewhere, if he's watching. If he's still alive. It's always a surprise when he shows up to a race, because I don't think he's alive through the week.
Yeah.
He's like Dracula.
If I'm distracted, I am distracted. I'm playing with something.
You're
That's fine.
playing the games or playing with yourself.
Playing with myself. Playing with the Twitch channel.
Oh, did I just hear the Pornhub tune?
Is there a tune for that?
Yeah, apparently there's a tune for it now. It's all over Twitter.
Oh God.
Right, so where do you want to start at, Chris? You're in PC.
So, you just go from the top. So I would say
Go
let
Tuesday
guys
then.
see.
Well, you should be able to see the website, right?
Okay, let me try. Hang on.
Oh no, you can't see the website. It should be on the screen on your.
I can see it here on the screen.
Aye, that's
The
what I mean.
writing is-
Right, so. Jesus, see, I wasn't thinking about that. Look at all the tears. Right. So we'll
No,
start
don't
with.
click that.
No,
Click on
that's
that.
the
That's
Discord
going to
chat.
take you back to Discord.
Well, how the hell am I supposed? Oh, okay.
Scroll down. Yeah.
Down here. I obviously don't go on here as often as I should. So, what do you want to start with?
Well, don't click on the teams because there's nothing in there anymore for
No.
Taco Tuesday.
So it's now just the
So, just
Which
start
one?
with Drivers 1.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so, starting at the top, we have TK Drifter. So, is this tier 1, yes?
Yes.
So this is the pro split. So in the pro split,
Right.
they race in obviously the same server as the AM split. So TK Drifter came out with a wonderful win last night with Will Friedman in second place, and Pano managed a 5th place, but still holds on to 3rd in the
That's up.
standings.
Looks like I Am Slow starting to creep back up there as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Excellent.
he had a solid podium last night.
And then Jester in 5th.
Just kind of get rid of that gorilla thumb guy.
So, moving on to Group 2. So, this would be the amateur guys, or are we
Yeah.
going to call
Yes.
them that? Okay.
Yeah, so there's 9 in the pro split and 11 in the amateurs in the AMs.
Okay.
So as you can see, Stop Steve is still putting the early running in. Astral Racers holding on to 2nd place despite a 5th place finish last night. And Alien of the Week, Fresh Brizzle holds on to 3rd. Special mention to Woodward, who managed to win last night's amateur side of things. So after a week's absence, managed to get a win.
Yeah.
Yes. And a massive mention for Axel for doing what he did to help us reduce things down when it came to the endurance on Friday.
Yeah, huge shout.
Stepped down, gave the guys the opportunity to race in a full grid, so he was awarded 30 points for his sacrifice.
Okay. So moving on to PS5. Are we
That's
surprised?
what it's
Are we surprised to see Michael Races at the top?
No.
You got Will Friedman, who's obviously hanging in there quite nicely, and you got my buddy Crazies.
No, it's Sean Freeman.
Oh,
That
Sean
one.
Freeman. That's not Will Friedman then. Ah.
No,
So that-
Will's, Will's
Freeman
in-
82.
Yeah, that's where that dyslexia part comes in. I read that as Friedman, not Freeman. My apologies, Mr. Freeman.
So you have to look at it like this, though.
We should
So-
maybe get that font a bit thicker on the website, I think.
Could be, yeah.
if you're looking at it on a full screen, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got Kraziz sat in the poacher's position of third
Yeah.
place.
He's in third place at the moment. So let's move on to GT3 Thursday. When did that one start?
That's
About 3 or 4 weeks ago. So this is the Arrive and Drive series on PS5.
Okay, similar to the Slammers then.
Yes.
Yeah, it's obviously a couple of the guys on PS5 were screaming out for some additional races because we couldn't manage the Sunday PS4 and PS5 split. So this was my solution.
Okay. And as we
great
see,
solution because I think you had 16 people taking part the other night.
Yeah.
so is there something happened to the standings for this?
No, I kicked the person.
Ah, so third place is Mr. Invisible now.
That was Critico Ballistico, who decided that his real life driving experience meant that he could crash into people on sim racing games.
Oh.
So,
Yes. We had the popcorn out for that one.
So yeah, it's usual suspects at the top then, Michael, Races and Crazies.
Anything he touches in a PS5 turns to gold. So
Yeah. Let's have
I'm
a quick
gonna
look
have
at
to buy a
the...
PS5 and show him how it's done, isn't it?
Did I tell you what, at the moment the PS5 and PS4 times are quicker than the PC?
That's because of the new time model that the
I think
consoles
that's,
have, yeah.
I've been saying that, yeah. So moving
Thursday
on
Night
to
Thunder.
Thursday Night Thunder in America.
This still hasn't got the traction that Kevin and George are looking for, but at the same token, it's still
do you know what?
coming through it.
I look at these guys every single week and they're kind of going, oh, I'm feeling really downbeat. Why? Do you know how long it took to get to 20 drivers on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Yes.
It took 2 or 3 seasons. Guys, you were doing amazing.
Keep going.
Yeah. And
These guys
you're
have
leading
got...
the championship as well, Kevin.
Yeah.
And George is in second, so don't moan too much.
I mean,
Guys,
they've got guys. They've got guys that mostly turn up. I was saying to Steve-O before the podcast, this is not an easy market. America is not an easy market for street racing, unless it's IndyCar. It's mostly if we done a NASCAR game or a dirt oval, they'd be all over it. But GT racing is just not something that they tend to be interested
I
in.
think that will change when we finally get the DLC for the tracks.
I think so as
So-
well.
Who's top of the
Oh,
standings then? And
So-
so you could probably go through the full list here because
No, there's actually 16 names on that list, Chris. So the top 3 people is We the Kev, George 216, which is the 2 guys that run the league, and then we've got SRE Boss.
you
And,
lad.
we've actually got an Australian over there as well. Mr. I Am Slow has joined that league.
Yes.
So when he decides to go to sleep after working, driving in the British leagues, driving in the American leagues, he must not get much sleep.
Was a massive thank you to Rashid as well, who's invited one of his Spanish friends to join and take part in this Thursday Night Thunder. So I think he's signed up to race this coming Thursday. So
Okay.
thank you, Rashid.
So,
Just to interject a minute, crazies, mate. Get yourself on PC. 1v1 me.
No.
Right? Bath
No.
it.
No, we don't want crazies on PC.
I've been saying that
You're
for a
not
while.
kid.
There's definitely Michael Races, Crazies, Traction Dave. These guys want to get PCs because they're constantly in the top 5 on PlayStation.
Oh,
Imagine Will
At least.
Will as well.
Yeah, Will as well. I mean, it's amazing when Will actually gets some time not working on the website and gets a bit of time to do some practice and race.
Do you know what bringing
he's
those
tremendous.
guys to PC will do? See, whenever we enter any teams into any endurance races, we could pair every one of them up with like mid to slow drivers, and we'll all probably do really well over like a grid, I would say.
Okay, so this one is... So there's 2 tiers for the endurance as well?
PS4,
At the moment, yes, but that'll be changing. That's what we spoke about at the start.
so it's been
Right.
condensed.
So obviously I've forgotten what we talked about at the start again, so that's
No,
my
so-
fault. Don't go over it again. Don't go over it again. It's
This
just
is
me.
what
just-
All you need to concern about is Brizzle won the race.
Yeah.
Then you've got Rabid Duck,
Rabid
who finished
Duck.
second,
And Will
and
Friedman.
Mr. Freeman finished third
Yeah.
in the current Division 1. If we flick to Tier 2,
Tier 2 was White Snake.
yeah, but
Oh,
this
my
is
old
not.
teammate.
Yeah, this is not on pace, by the way. So
Right.
you've got White Snake, Bohurt, Bert, and Zombie Dom, who finished in the top 3, but that's GT3s and GT4s.
Okay.
So yeah.
Righty-ho. And then
So-
you said PS5 is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So PS5 we got Floppy Fox, Crazies, and
Rapid.
yeah, Floppy Fox. I always see him up against those guys we mentioned as a top runners.
Yep.
He's fairly new, isn't he?
Aye.
Yeah. And then on the back end of that is the pure Sun gear. That's the GT3 Sundays, correct? I've not been away from PS for that long, but it's apparently long enough.
Just have a wee browse through the website every now and again. They'll keep yourself up to speed.
Just don't have time.
I would have done this myself tonight, but I can't. I'm here, or I would have done it, no problem.
So tier
basically-
1, which is the pros, has got Lely 9. He's another one that's fast up there.
Yeah.
And
Do you
then-
know what? I know I should never ever say this, but I am rooting for you, Lally. Please, you are the most deserving guy to win a
Yeah.
championship. He's always been the bridesmaid, never the bride. Today you get. I can't wait for the day you get to down that ground, wear that game. I'll be your best man, or your maid of honor.
I mean, other than 2 races, he's been in the top 3.
Yeah.
That tells you right there how good he is.
And we had a wee
Very
we had
unlucky.
we had a wee spat the other night as well. So just one of those things. Aggressive racing.
So in the tier 2 we have We the Kev, Neil Woodward, and Nathbite.
Oh, Woody again in the top 3. I mean,
Aye, he's still in the top 3.
it's just so consistent now. And
Yeah. It's all that time I spent showing him how to do setups, giving him setups. I'm good at showing, I'm not very good at doing.
So what about Slammers? I think Hutch is itching to hear his name.
Hutch is
I
not
don't
Hutch is not in the chat. Hutch is missing again.
He's dead.
No,
He's dead
aye,
somewhere.
aye. No, he's not.
Right.
He's
Should we
just
fire
drunk.
through these? I'm just conscious of the time. So,
Yeah. So
I'm happy to do the reading. You show me the screen.
right, so go for it.
Well, so this is the Slammers. So this is another arrive and drive, no pressure. Turn up, race, choose whatever car you fancy. So once again, a familiar name that's sitting at the top, which is the Fresh Brizzle. In second place, just 1 point behind him, is Hutch, trying to match my massive tally of 1 championship. And then you've got Mr. Rashid in third place, which is again being a driver that's joined us a couple of seasons ago and is again getting more and more involved in the season.
Mr. Drive-Through.
Mr. Driver. And now I think we're on. Don't try and go on the Ferrari World Tour standings because I haven't done them.
That's fine. But is the PC up to date? Yeah.
The PC for GT3 is up to date, and then we've obviously got the endurance.
Yeah, because the
which is-
4th round is tomorrow. British GT is tomorrow, is it not?
It is indeed. So
Yes.
again, this is a series where we got a pro and an am split. So if you scroll down, I hope and I've done what I wanted to do. Yes, we have. So click on the pro side. So we got last season's champion Mattia Najira in first place, just coming back off. Initially 2 wins and then 2 fifth place places. Then we got Giorgino Zucchetти, or I'm sure Keddy will turn in his sleep at my pronunciation of that.
Yeah.
But Gino, as he's otherwise known, had a disappointing result last week in Kailami, but had some consistency originally. And Rick Tadema, who's one of the FRL racing team drivers, currently sat in third. Again, I think must have had something bad to eat prior to the Kailami race because managed a 9th place position. But
course.
generally, consistency is the key. Bentley's at top with BMWs in second place. If you click on the AMs, please,
Yes.
Derek. So we've got the keyboard Blondie, which is Petrovic, currently leading the amateurs. And we've got Gail DeHane, who otherwise known as Draco in the server, is in second place, but he had to miss the last race because it was his anniversary. and we've got Nicholas Keel in the Porsche. So, Gedman, don't wet yourself. In third place, who managed to win last time out. Looking at the table, I need to do some adjustments to my thing because
it's moved over.
Nobody's had any results in race 2, 4.
Yeah, it's moved all the results across too many pages, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would just like to point out where I am and where James is.
So where are you, Dale?
Yeah,
I'm in fourth.
Yeah, the fifth.
Woo!
Yeah.
Fifth, if you can read. So.
Oh, fifth, yes, fifth, sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm not driving in a Ferrari either.
No. Down. Endurance.
Yeah, I went into the GT. Right, hang on.
Come
We'll
on,
see if it come
Els. I need you to message me and tell me I can race with you.
Right.
I'll send her a message after this if you want, Chris.
It's quite like the website, and anything I do on there, it's disorganised.
This is not up to date.
Jesus Christ, James. So we have some results. And I will correct this tomorrow morning.
They're hiding.
Yeah, hiding. But whilst we're here and we're trying to fill some time, if you click on PC and then you go to the Super Race, please.
The Super Race, is that
Yeah,
up?
so click on PC.
Yes.
And then go to Super Race. Sorry, I'm pointing at this screen. I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen. Up. It's got the stars either side of it.
So does Hall of Fame.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you've just joined us, this is a shit show.
Well, it always is.
James.
Why change the rules of a lifetime?
Yeah.
Bad news, James. That's out of date.
Oh, you've put a lap in now, have you?
No, that it's not in the right order.
Why?
Someone's gone faster.
Am I higher again? I'm all the way in first now.
Would you like me to do the presentation of the other tracker?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, show us the full deal. Hang on, let me hide this. Tick. No, it's not what. Stop presenting. Right, you present. Do you know how to do it?
Yep.
Right, so we up arrow at the bottom. Chris, stop poking me in the eye.
Hey, that's what we need.
So this is the current standings for the Super Race qualifiers.
22.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Alfie Barn.
Mr. Barron is on
Yeah,
fire,
he's on
followed sharply by my current nemesis that I'm
Keddy.
going to beat is Mr. Keddy. I'm going to get him.
Sorry.
I'm going to get him.
Faster.
You know what? I'm waiting to see your total laps and the actual valid laps when they appear.
I mean,
I could bring that up just now if you like.
No, for Chris.
That's what I mean.
I could actually bring it up. Like,
That's all Chris right there. Those every one of them.
when did I last go on?
Six.
Last night.
Yeah,
That
last
one.
night you started.
No.
No, it was.
Uh,
So it was the 6th, yeah.
it's the 6th today.
Yeah.
No, none of my laps counted apparently.
Yeah.
So
Not one.
there was not a single valid lap.
There is not a single valid lap from me in any of them.
The funny part is this is a man that's going to teach us about setups and tracks.
So let's retract.
You can ask me about any track but Brands Hatch, okay? Just not Brands Hatch.
Right. So I've got some work to do in the morning, in terms of tidying up what I haven't done, in the stand-ins. But yeah, do you know what? I've really enjoyed 90 minutes spending with you guys, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to stay on this evening, despite the circumstances which has allowed me to stay on.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you.
Hope everything's okay.
And we will
Yeah,
have,
he's fine. He's coming home in a minute. So if in case anyone didn't know, my son went to hospital because he was blue in nursery, and my wife went with him. But he's been fine. He was laughing, giggling when I was on the video call with him earlier. But he is coming home shortly. He's got bronchitis or something like that.
Oh. Hope he's okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
I'll be barking like a dog for the next 10 days.
He's been barking like a dog for the last 2 weeks, but nursery rang us up earlier and said he was blue, so I had to rush off quickly. to go pick him up, and then my wife finished work early and then took him to the hospital right by us. So, but he's been seen and he's all right.
Good.
So I think we'll wrap it up there. That's an hour and a half. Thanks for coming again, James. And Steve-o, hopefully we'll have you on again in the future.
Definitely.
James, you're coming on every month, except next month you'll be a little late. It'll be the second week that we got you on. I did send you a notification of that.
Depends if I'm angry.
Well, it usually does.
Everyone, please don't get James angry that day.
I know, every first Wednesday of every month, usually. Just leave him alone.
Yes. Just before we go, guys, again, another massive thanks to everybody that's watched and commented tonight. Send your emails in to Formula Racing League 0@gmail.com so we can get your questions on here. Visit the website formularacingligue.com, and again, Fresh Briz, well done for Alien of the Week, well deserved it.
And Dan Mark for Legend of the FRL.
Legend of Live, just FRL legend.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Unsung hero, but yeah,
Unsung
FRL legend.
I couldn't remember what it was called, so I just made that up. Good at it.
A massive thanks to Chris for coming in tonight as well.
Anytime.
Yes.
So
You might even see me become a regular if it's allowed.
No.
Don't tempt them.
if you come into the fray, we might have to go 2 or 3 hours though, just to make sure we get everything talked about.
Yes.
All right, guys, we had a great time. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you all later.